I think one of the things we all understand is just how frustrated everyone is. We're all frustrated. We're all sick and tired of restrictions, of mandates, of having to make sacrifices, of not being able to do the things we love. It's been 2 years, and it's really, really tiring for all of us. This government has been focused every step of the way on following the best science, following the best public health advice to keep as many people safe as possible. And quite frankly, it's worked. We've seen the curves lower in Canada than elsewhere. We've seen lower death rates. We've seen quicker economic recovery because Canadians stepped up, because Canadians got vaccinated. And I can understand frustrations with mandates, but mandates are the way to avoid further restrictions or having to be restricted. As people get vaccinated, as Canadians have gotten vaccinated, we've been able to get through things. And this team is going to stay focused on doing exactly that.
Hi there, everyone. This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth. And how's that for a little bit of hypocrisy for you, eh, ladies and gentlemen? That was Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stating that mandates are what lead towards further restrictions. Without even batting an eye, the man can just be so hypocritical, and people don't even think twice about this. You know, it reminds me of back when Justin Trudeau was telling the world about how he's triple vaxxed and how he and his kids and his wife have contracted COVID-19. And, you know, although I'm triple vaxxed and I just got COVID-19, you all need to go out and get vaccinated to protect yourselves against COVID-19. And I thought, the hypocrisy is just too much here. People are just going to, like, you know, see this and go, wait, what? What? This doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? But they're not doing that. And now he's continuing to double down on this on this nonsense, to the point of being able to say things like mandates are what lead towards further restrictions. It's absolutely insane, and it goes even further than that. You know, at his first address to Parliament, in response to the truckers' protest, he said there's individuals out there who are responsible for disrupting the Canadian economy and disrupting the daily lives of everyday average Canadian citizens. No, 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 no. It's not this recent trucker protest that has anything to do with the destruction of the Canadian economy or the disruption into the daily lives of Canadians. Everybody knows damn well it's the Canadian government's reaction to this. It's their mandates, their restrictions, that is responsible for destroying the economy, destroying all the medium mom and pop shops. So many businesses have been destroyed over the last couple of years at the hands of the Canadian government, and they would sit there and have the nerve to say that it's a couple of these lone trucker protesters in Ottawa. It's just absolutely insane, guys. Well, today we're going to point out a lot more of the hypocrisy going on, and some other things happening in the COVID-1984 nightmare. As I'm sure you've probably already heard, they're already seizing gas canisters and trying to stop anybody from bringing in any fuels or any other sorts of supplies to the protesters. And you know, you gotta love the Canadian spirit in how they deal with bullies, you know. And when they heard about the rule, they decided they would start carrying around empty gas canisters, or at least gas canisters maybe filled with drinking water, just to confuse the police there and make their jobs just a little bit more difficult moving forward. And something that also strikes me as kind of comical when it comes to making their lives a little difficult, you know, because that's what's happening. And in Ottawa, the police have called on a city-paid tow truck workers to deal with the big rigs and to start pulling the truckers out of the downtown core. Well, get a load of this, guys. Just out from CBC, towing companies on city contracts refuse to move convoy vehicles. City police say finding willing tow truck operators is a Canada-wide challenge right now. The tow truck operators on contract to the City of Ottawa are taking a hard pass on requests to haul vehicles out of the protest area, according to the city's top public servants. I've contacted them all, and they're all refusing, as of today, to provide heavy tow truck work. City manager said Monday evening. Right now, we're reviewing their contracts or standing offer and reviewing what actions we can take to deal with this unprecedented situation. Oh, man. Yeah, they didn't see that one coming, because these are their paid city workers who are refusing. And, you know, maybe that will be the first kind of domino, or whatever you want to call it, the first one. You know, maybe if they do ever decide to call in the military, wouldn't it be remarkable if we saw those military trucks just join in with the truckers? Or what about if the tow trucks just join in with them? Wouldn't that send quite the message? Well, the police are trying to send a message, that's for sure, right now in Ottawa, by saying they're going to bring in reinforcements. I believe I heard up to 1,800 more officers are soon going to be on the scene there, and they're already doing this in an effort to enforce the new rules. Like, there's a new no honking rule, and if you guys haven't seen this video, it's absolutely heartbreaking to see what's going on there in Ottawa, as a frail old 78-year-old great-grandfather was just violently abused at the hands of the state. Why? Well, because the man gave a thumbs up and he honked his horn once in support of one of the truckers. For that, officers can be seen manhandling this frail senior citizen, all because he honked his horn. And when the police asked him to identify himself, a bystander there can be heard off camera explaining to the man, you know, you haven't done anything wrong. You don't need to present your ID to this thug who's demanding it just because he asks for it. And so there was a brief second where the man thought, hey, maybe I don't need to show him my ID. And that's when the police officer grabbed him and threw him to the ground. Check it out.
What did he do wrong?
None of your fucking concern, man. What do you need? Give me your license. I don't care about that. Where are you going? Hey, where are you going?
You don't have to answer that.
Okay, you got your license in the truck?
You don't have to answer his question, sir. You don't have to answer his question, sir.
What? He does have to.
No, he doesn't.
You want comments? Film me from the sidewalk.
Don't. Fuck off.
You want comments? Film me from the sidewalk.
Yeah, you see what he
Drive-
did?
Yes, I know.
He swung at me.
You're abusing
Driver's
old
license.
men.
You swung at me.
That you're
Driver's
not a
If
Canadian.
I swung at you, it's on film, so you're fine. Driver's
Because I
license.
tooted the horn.
Yeah.
He come and hit me.
Yeah, it's called
That
communism.
is why you're pulled
It's
over.
called
Excessive noise.
communism.
Driver's license.
It's communism. You don't have to
Driver's
show
license.
anything. You didn't do anything wrong.
I know I have.
You have the right of freedom of choice.
Of course.
You have the right to beep your horn or whatever. Why are you doing this?
Because it's an offense.
Of
It's
what?
an offense to beep your noise.
No, it is not an offense
It
since
is.
when?
Tell me it's not. I have it written down that it is. It's actually an
So
offense.
you're
all right?
standing with your lying government? Your lying cop?
Driver's license.
He's right.
Broke it.
Do you know that your superior is a liar and he went on the media lying to the Canadian people? Now you're
Talk to
doing
the police,
this?
Have me fired. Have me
What's
fired.
your name and badge number?
0192 Jones.
Jones.
There. You have everything you need to have me fired.
Yeah,
for
look at
abusing
what
my
they're doing to
authority.
an old man.
Okay.
That's a citizen
Yeah,
of Canada.
because he tooted the horn. He's pissed off.
That's right.
That's
So
exactly
is
what
everybody
you
who lives here.
I can be a
Doesn't
really
matter.
happy-
What about them?
This is the
What about
capital of
I can
Canada.
have you
Drop your
watch
mandates.
trouble.
Stand down.
I don't have
You're not doing your
I don't have
job. You're
mandates.
representing
Driver's
hate.
license.
You're a
Driver's
terrorist.
That's a bank card.
You're a terrorist.
Driver's license.
I don't know why the fuck
You're representing hate. No.
Driver's license.
You're representing hate.
My lawyer.
Call your lawyer.
You'd be really
Call your lawyer. I don't
Then
care.
you'd have
Give
to
me your
tuck
driver's
up the
license,
throat.
insurance registration.
You have to tuck up the fiddle for this. Maybe you're on this type, but I mean,
Focus.
Because I should have haunted that guy because he's got flags.
That's
You
right.
told me all
He's
that.
a
That's
supporter
why-
for Canadian freedom.
You shouldn't have even opposed
Who cares?
You shouldn't have
They
opposed
shouldn't
him.
live in the capital of Canada then. They better leave. Because until the mandates are ended, this is not going to stop.
What's on your license?
Stop harassing old men. You don't have to show them anything. It's against the law. You just...
Fuck you. I'm not
You're
gonna.
under arrest.
For what? Hey,
Under arrest.
what are you doing?
Failing to ID. Well,
Hey, hey! That's assault! I've got it all on video.
You failed to ID.
Yeah, he failed to ID.
Get back!
Hey! Hey!
Get back!
Stop
Get
it.
back!
You get
We're back. We're filming. We're doing our part.
Get back!
Don't touch me. Who the fuck do you think you are? Fucking pig goose.
It's all on video. No, don't say anything.
Pig goose?
Don't say anything.
You attack me? You attack me? You're a fucking goose.
Hey, Ritz, stand down.
You attack me?
Stand down. Stand down. Ritz,
What am I doing?
no, it's peaceful.
What am
No,
I
let
doing?
them
Fucking
do.
attack me, you fucking goof. Fucking fucking not doing shit. Touch me, punk ass.
This is going right to the media. YouTube. What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number?
Yeah, you're assaulting.
Look, they're hurting an old man, a Canadian citizen. It's communism. This is communism. He's scared.
Your fucking guns.
Communist.
You stand with the communist fucking government.
Call your police chief. He'll back you up.
Government's going down.
Call the police.
Call your police chief.
Fucking arresting citizens. Serving
Arrested an old man. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
So that's just a disgusting display of the Ottawa police thugs behavior there. That's how they treat an old man for honking his horn in support of the trucker protest. As we see here, Warmington, 78-year-old great-grandfather meant no harm by honking. He's just 4'10", said his son Steve. He wouldn't hurt anybody. The 78-year-old great-grandfather arrested and handcuffed by Ottawa police after honking his horn in support for the protesting truckers, said he was not a protester and was not looking for any trouble. I meant no harm, Gary told the Toronto Sun in an interview. I just gave the trucker a thumbs up and a honk. At the same time, as concerns over honking in the city reached a fever pitch, Ottawa police pulled over an elderly retired Ottawa area high school janitor. He was not charged criminally, but given a $118 bylaw ticket for unnecessary noise. But he did receive a physical takedown that he won't soon forget. I'm so sore, said the father of 4 children, grandfather of 11, and great-grandfather of 4. It hurts so much. And look at the bruises on the poor man. This is just absolutely disgusting behavior by the Ottawa police. To think that it's okay to carry out the orders of the powers that ought not be in this way, just because they were told that that's what they need to do. You know, I've often said that a lot of the fight is going to come down to the provinces. You know, when it comes to the federal situation, you know, Trudeau is hell-bent on continuing to just lock down society and take away all your rights. But on the individual provincial level, there is where Canadians may have a better chance at winning the battle. And if the majority of Canadians are able to convince their premiers in their respective provinces to end the restrictions, this could cause that domino effect, that ripple effect, to spread across the country, and we potentially may be seeing that right now in Saskatchewan. So I just want to bring to your attention a recent announcement by Premier Scott Moe in Saskatchewan, who just said that they are going to be ending all of the passport restrictions and all COVID restrictions by Valentine's Day. And even the indoor masking restrictions will be lifted by the end of the month. Take a listen to what the Premier of Saskatchewan just had to say.
It's also time for the proof of vaccination mandate to end. So effective at midnight this Sunday, February the 13th, all provincial proof of vaccination requirements will end. In Saskatchewan businesses, in venues, and provincially regulated workplaces, this means that the proof of vaccination or the negative test option that we had provided will no longer be a provincial requirement. Starting on Valentine's Day, February the 14th, this will be the case. This will leave one remaining COVID measure in place, and that is indoor masking. That measure remains in effect until the end of February.
So, you know, good news on the surface. You know, obviously, any kind of an end to these restrictions is a step in the right direction. Now, this really begs the question, why is this happening now, after the government's put so much time and money into the vaccine passport system, so much effort into stripping your rights away, completely obliterating your rights? Why would they just willingly give it back? Well, it's quite possible, ladies and gentlemen, that what's happening in Saskatchewan could be a bit of a test, and could be a way to make an example of anybody who's willing to open up to that extent, because there's a lot of pundits, news heads, you know, people who are saying they're jumping the gun. This is all coming too early, and as we all know, I hate to say it, but it's true, all they need is another variant, some new sub-variant of Omicron or some other thing they come up with, and then see the case numbers go through the roof, to pin the blame on places like Denmark, Sweden, and Saskatchewan for being responsible for spreading this new variant. And I'm obviously not saying that that's the case. This isn't me saying this. I'm saying I think this is what the narrative will soon become when we see them release more variants through these new vaccines, and when this comes, they will pin the blame on all of those places that have opened up far too soon. But that's not to say that we have to continue in the fight on the provincial level to do the right thing, and which is to have these restrictions lifted, because viewers of this channel will know all too well, this isn't about health whatsoever. It's completely 100% fully about control, and it's more so morphing into the Big Brother Orwellian surveillance grid aspect when it comes to the vaccine passports. That's really what it's all about, tracking your every movement everywhere you go, and that's been an agenda for the powers that ought not to be for many, many decades now, and here we are in the era of COVID 1984, and it's happening at an incredibly accelerated pace. So unbelievable hypocrisy coming right now from the Canadian government, especially while they're sitting there watching this stuff unfold right before their very eyes. The Canadian people rising up, being completely fed up, had enough, and yet they're just going to continuously, you know, shut them down, not listen to them, demonize them, put agent provocateurs out there, float around a few swastikas and a couple Confederate flags, and maybe hire some Antifa douchebag to commit arson on a, you know, unsuspecting apartment complex. You name it. They're not going to put anything past us. You know, they're going to do everything they can to stop this thing. But this is one of those moments in history whose time has come, and you know, Canadians can only put up with so much, you know, and obviously they're starting to say enough is enough. And this trucker protest in Ottawa really seems to be kicking off something on a bigger global scale, as other countries are starting to now follow suit and do similar things. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update today. That poor old man, you know, it's just, things like that should be shocking to you when you see them. But we're almost becoming dehumanized to it because it's happening so much more all the time in our daily lives. And it's just remarkable to see the hypocrisy coming from the Canadian government without even batting an eye, and people don't even question it or think about it. It's quite remarkable, isn't it? You know, how you can say that mandates are what's leading towards restrictions. It's like Orwellian doublethink. Just wild that we're at this kind of a time and place in the world, ladies and gentlemen, but here we are. If you appreciate my efforts to continuously show you some of the things you may not be picking up on, you know, over the years, please check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Here you can do one-time PayPal. You can contribute Bitcoin. You can do other cryptocurrencies. One of the best things you can do is sign up to Subscribestar. Recently Patreon canceled my my account. I had over a couple hundred patrons contributing on a monthly recurring contribution, and that's all being pulled away at the blink of an eye because Patreon canceled me for allegedly spreading medical misinformation. Once again, the so-called medical misinformation that I have been presenting is often turns out to be medical fact a couple months later down the road after yours truly said it. But at any rate, Patreon's canceled my account, so Subscribestar is an excellent alternative to something like that, where you can sign up for a monthly recurring contribution, guys. $5, $10, anything that you can do is greatly appreciated in these times, guys, as I'm going to continue to fight this moving forward. Once again, if you do appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, don't forget to check all the links in the description. And that's all for today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share this video, click that thumbs up button, get this one out there to all your friends and family who you think need to see it the most. And stay tuned, we're going to have more video reports coming very soon. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you